turvaliselt on hea.
Turvaliselt on hea.
Turvaliselt on hea.
Johannes Kert, kuidas teie arvate, et kas tänapäeval inimesed on internetis valitsevatest ohtudest piisavalt teadlikud?
Ma kardan, et ei ole. Seda enam, et internetis tekib neid ohtusid pidevalt juurde. Kui inimesed oleksid pidevalt teadlikud internetis valitsevatest ohtudest, küllap siis oleks Viljandi noormehe enesetapp olematu olnud ja nii edasi, nii edasi, nii edasi. Et teiseks ma tahaksin öelda, et Eesti riik suhtub äärmiselt tõsiselt küberkaitsesse väga paljudel erinevatel põhjustel ja soovib teha nii palju kui võimalik koostööd siis ka Eesti erafirmadega.
For what have been, you know, the threats are changing all the time, so no one can prepare for the future. You know, we've seen a lot of the antivirus over the time, and we just had a large company, really struggling with virus. Even if they have 2 virus engines, they couldn't stop the virus. So the threats are changing, so no one can be prepared. People know what happened. They don't know what's coming, so it's always a fight with the future risks. So that will continue. Everyone will have a lot to do with security going forward.
Ну, я думаю, что они очень достаточно мало знают, потому что наслышатся таких разных, можно сказать, рассказов интересных, и это их представление об интернете создает. А таких образованных людей достаточно, по безопасности интернета мало.
Well, I get that varies a bit. Some people are, especially people who have been victims of something, then that usually wakes you up. Yeah, it wakes you up. But of course, the majority of ordinary people, as you know, of course we all are, but who are not that much dealing with these kind of security things, it's easier to ignore than acknowledge some things. So, you know, some people say that more information brings you more pain, but these things are getting so important and so serious for all of us nowadays. You can lose your money, your identity, whatever, if something bad happens. So I think everybody should be taking this more and more seriously. Then it's a question how you are actually handling it. Maybe the best way would be to rely on something, you know, a good advisor like Stallion.
I think that this is a very good question. I guess in the today's business, not everybody has that or can take the time to review the security vulnerabilities and incidents which are coming up. When I look to the latest signature releases we made, I think we added just 600, something like last week. How can you know all about this? It's just impossible. Ordinary people, I would say no. There are some highly trained specialists that know what's going on and they know how to defend against it. But ordinary system administrators, they need a tool like...
Tavaliselt kodanikud kuulevad hirmujutte. Kursis kindlasti ei ole ja hirmutatakse tihtipeale sihukest mitte väga adekvaatsete juttudega.
Turvaliselt on hea. Turvaliselt on hea.
Turvaliselt on hea.
First of all, let me introduce my new Nokia N8 phone, which is the best phone at the market at the moment. And of course it's a Finnish manufactured by Nokia, which is a Finnish company, not a Japanese company. Finnish. Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, in general they are, but of course, as a manager, you rely on your employees to know the bits and bytes of the security, but they need to know the whole infrastructure so they can relate that to their business needs. So they can provide security, so they can actually provide their services to their customers in a secure way. So I think they know it pretty well. Of course, there are some areas that they need to investigate further, but we are there to help. to tell and talk about their issues, how we could solve their security problems, to them to be able to better serve their customers.
Jah, no mis ma neile ütleks, tuleks üle vaadata või teha võib-olla isegi kerge audit oma asjadele, kas kõik asjad on turvalised. See on hea algus, ma arvan.
Ma arvan, et kui need firmajuhid on juba tõelised firmajuhid jõudnud sellisele positsioonile, nad peavad ise sellest aru saama. Kui nad sellest aru ei saa, eks elu õpetab.
I think there's a lot more awareness, but I think part of the problem is every time there's an attack and then we stop it, somebody comes up with a new attack. So the dangers are always changing, I think is the biggest problem.
It depends. Some of the threats are exaggerated a bit. For example, the Facebook things and kind of things like that. So the more the threat concerns about the individuals and personal people, the more higher value it gets in the media and things like that. But the real threats that are affecting the corporate users and corporate data especially, I see that there's no enough information available for that kind of threats.
Üks asi, millega eksitakse, on see, et teeme ükskord ära selle koolituse ja siis 5 aastat on kõik korras. See asi üldse nii ei käi, selles mõttes kuskil poole aasta pärast tulevad uued ohud, muutuvad need riskid ja see, mis räägiti aasta tagasi, ei pruugi enam olla adekvaatne. Loomulikult on parem kui mitte midagi. Nii et milles on täna probleem? Vähegi suurema ettevõtte juht peaks vaatama seda teemat kompleksselt, saama aru, et see on protsess, mitte mingisugune ühekordne saavutus, hindama õigesti oma äri ja selle riske ja siis planeerima tegevusi sinna alla.
Well, I think that in a lot of cases they're aware of the higher level concepts, the things that hit the newspapers. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty technical details of how these attacks are carried out, and the steps they need the technologies and things they need to implement to build defense in depth, that's not really well understood because of the business side focuses on the business and the tech nerds like myself focus on the technology, and I think that right now I see that gap being bridged more and more by bringing everybody to the same meeting room and integrating that security from the beginning of a project, as opposed to just kind of taping it on at the end of the project.
Turvalliselt on hea.
Turvalliselt on hea.
Turvalliselt on hea.
Turvalliselt on hea. Так, еще раз, повтори мне это самое. Turvalliselt on hea. Turvalliselt on hea. Turvalliselt